We're going to look at what the push-off exercise is. This will be eventually incorporated into your walking, but right now it's a separate skill you're learning. And we start by being in a full stride position. Now, your full stride and my full stride won't be the same, but here's what I mean by full stride. If I step forward like I'm walking, but I want to keep my feet pelvis width apart, not hip width, pelvis width apart. So it's as though maybe a 2x4, I've got my feet on either side of that. So that's part of it. I want to make sure my toes are pointed forward, outside edges of the feet parallel, so I'm not turned out. And then I also am trying to keep both legs straight and my body upright. If I have to bend forward, I've stepped too far and I want to shorten my stride. So I want to be able to have both legs straight, both heels on the floor, toes pointed forward. The toes pointed forward might also change the length of your stride, because if you're used to being slightly turned out, when you go to turn forward, you might not have the same amount of ankle flexion or hip extension. So again, figuring out what's your full stride. Now, from that full stride position in the push-off exercise, again, this is a skill that will eventually feed into walking. We want to keep the hips facing forward, both legs stay straight, body stays upright, and we're going to push up onto the toes as high as you go and then lower back down. And the whole time you want to keep the front of your pelvis up. You don't want to tip forward because you're going to miss part of the action here. The action is to increase strength in the back of the leg and increase hip extension. So we're lifting and lowering, moving slowly and sort of thinking about resisting. It's as though you're lifting up while you lower the heel down. From the front, that looks like this. Again, my hips are facing forward, my feet are pointed toes forward, and I'm just shifting my weight forward onto the front foot and then lowering it back down onto 2 feet. So we switch sides. We set up in that full stride, pelvis width, toes pointed forward, body upright, and we're going to push up onto the toes and lower back down. Again, we push up onto the toes and we lower back down. So we're doing this without letting the legs bend. We're not trying to come here. We want to keep that leg as straight as we can. And we're resisting pushing down. We shift onto the front foot, back onto 2 feet. That's all this is. You want to repeat it 10 times on each side, nice and slow, no faster than what I was just doing. Eventually, when you're walking, you'll start to have more strength in the push-off behind you, and you'll stop just falling forward and letting that back leg bend. You'll start pushing yourself onto that front leg, getting more out of the back of the leg muscles and your butt, and increasing that hip extension. We are very restricted in here from all our sitting and all our slightly bent knee because we're trying to protect everything. We're going to throw that out and we're going to try and work towards straight legs, pushing up, lowering back down, pelvis stays upright the entire time. That's the push off.